And welcome back to the Movie Pope podcast. And today, His Moviness and I are going to take a look at the trailer for The Marvels, which comes out November 10th. Now, I know this movie came out, or the trailer came out a few months ago, and the most recent one came out a few days ago. But the thing is, but we want to do a reaction, a few days before the movie dropped. But before we dive in, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think. If you think this is going to be a pretty good movie, or if it's just going to be another stinker. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Let's go ahead and dive in. Lee, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. One thing I will say before we even start, I miss seeing dislikes on YouTube videos because I'd be curious how many dislikes this has, but let's see how this goes.
Carol Danvers, prodigal child of the Milky Way.
Nick Fury, my favorite one-eyed man of intrigue.
How goes it out there?
Cold,
Oh, there's the cat.
air, space.
Captain Marvel, the Annihilator. You took everything from me. And now I'm returning the favor.
What? Who's that supposed to be?
What is happening to me? She's entangled our light-based powers, so we switch places whenever we use them.
Strong theory.
You can absorb light. I can see it. And Kamala...
Who's Kamala?
Hi. She can turn light into physical matter, which I have never heard of.
I could totally show you.
No!
Ugh, this feels like such a stretch for a boy.
She's targeting every planet we call home. I would never choose to bring anybody into this.
You are not the only thing standing between this and the universe.
Oh my god, we're a team.
Higher.
Further. Faster.
Who's a good kitty goose?
Yeah.
I can't. Can you?
I got it.
What are they called? Florkins, right? Or am I just making that shit up? That sounds like a real name, right? What are they called?
Yeah, they're called Florkins.
Oh man, look at that! Got that on first guess. Good for me.
So that movie drops on November 10th, and basically we're seeing a return of all the characters we've seen so far. Obviously, we're seeing Carol Danvers, who I'm wondering. So when she absorbed the Tesseract, it basically stopped her from aging, right?
Sure.
I mean, because she looks the same as she is. She's always been looking since the 90s. And then obviously we see Monica Rambeau from WandaVision, and then Kamala Khan from Ms. Marvel, and then we've got Nick Fury, who who appears to have forgotten the whole shit show that was a Secret Invasion, which we reviewed a few months ago. So be sure to check that out.
I'm sure everyone wants to forget Secret Invasion, so I guess we're all on the same page then, because he's acting the same way the audience act when they watch Secret Invasion, and I'm sure this is exactly what Marvel's hoping, is everyone forgets about Secret Invasion as well. So I think we're all on the same page with that.
Yeah. So what did you think about the trailer? I mean, any hints of this might be an epic movie?
No, there was not. There's no hints of this being anything other than just some other superhero clash of whatever nonsense that's all going to come together. So, I mean, number one, we got Captain Marvel, right? Who's our biggest character that we obviously know. And it's when you have a character that's super, super strong like that, it's kind of hard to have any tension with her, right? And I guess this is maybe why they're trying to do this like weird power swap thing, which I guess it's all like light based now or something that they're trying to say. I don't really know. That feels like an extreme stretch in logic for how they're all tied together, but I'll just go with it for the time being. But you have this super, super strong character, and I'm like, gosh, like it's really hard. She has the Superman problem, right? Like she's just so strong that's really hard to build tension with her character because ultimately they're just so powerful that there's not a ton that you're able to do with them. So that's kind of my first issue with it. And then like you bring in Monica Rambeau, right? Which is like, okay, if you never saw WandaVision, you don't really know much about her. And if you watch WandaVision, you also barely know her anyways. So, like, I get that she's, the daughter of, her best friend and everything. But it's just like, no one cares about who she is. Like, it's kind of like the issue when DC decided to bring everyone in at the same time. It's like the reason one of the reasons that didn't find success was because, like, we didn't really know anything about, we didn't know about Cyborg, right? We didn't know about the Flash. Like, you bring in these characters that you want to have in this kind of like culmination of a bunch of superheroes, but then when you do it, you're doing it in a way that just doesn't really make sense because we're not invested in any of the other characters, because all we really know is Captain Marvel, right? Like, yes, if you watched Miss Marvel, right, and you watched her TV show, like obviously she was the main fixture of that, but I know a lot of people didn't watch it. So, that's an issue when you're bringing in like a character like that. Now, I will say about the only thing I do have any shred of hope for in this is I actually do like the actress that plays Miss Marvel. I think she's got this very fun personality. And I'm kind of curious to see what, if anything, they do with her. But that's about the only thing I care about in this whole film, because everything else can just drop to the floor as far as I care, because I just don't have any investment in that. I don't really care about Captain Marvel. I don't care about anything that goes with her story. Monica Rambeau, same thing. I don't really care. Like, she was such a small bit part in, the WandaVision, so that it just feels like, oh, we got to throw her in now. And like, I don't know if you just want to throw her in because you're hoping to, create more content so we can have some offshoot series of her. I don't know what your plan is, but like, who cares? I just don't care about that character. So I'm just going into it like, okay, I really don't care about any of the characters, and the only character I really care about, I'm just more interested to see just kind of how she works on the big screen. And that's about it. And then you have the villain, who, I don't know. Do you know anything about the villain, Luca? Because I honestly was just like, what am I looking at?
I think she's supposed to be a Kree accuser, because I did see she had the hammer similar to what Ronan had.
Yes.
But that's all I know.
Yeah, like I was just like,
well, I mean,
okay, cool,
you do see. Well, I was gonna say,
it's an all-female cast with a female villain.
Well, I was gonna say, because you also do see some of the Kree in there. The blue skin, and they look like Ronan basically. So.
Yep. So yeah, they have it's you got all the heroines, and then we're replacing. We now have female Ronan in it. And that's our movie. So there we go. So I guess that's what we're all looking forward to now. See how that is. It seems like, even though it comes out in 2 weeks, I guess there is like a review embargo on it. That's not going to be lifted until November the 8th, which is only a few days beforehand. I don't know how I feel about that. I do know on one hand, yes, there are a lot of trolls on the internet that will just be like, oh, haha, it's all female stuff. This is all pushing an agenda and all that stuff, and they give it 1 star. So I kind of understand why you have to do an embargo on some things, but it's also like, that kind of gives me this sinking suspicion that a movie that's nearly $300 million budget, that's actually gone through a bunch of reshoots, there's a whole lot of red flags here. So I don't know how it's going to be. Maybe it'll be good, but I don't. My faith in this is really, really low. as far as being much of anything other than just another superhero flick to go with all the other superhero flicks that are out there.
Well, I didn't know about the embargo. Is that when did that come out?
I don't know when it come out, but it seems like they're not allowing, or I'm not seeing any post about anything specific. I know that some of the discussion was around there's a possible hint that a character is going to pop up at the end, so they don't want to spoil that. I've heard some people saying Robert Downey Jr., but that's all just speculation at this stage, so don't want to get too much into, kind of all that stuff. But there's a lot of questions around why they felt like reviews could have go out early for this, because they have had screenings, but so far nothing has been going out regarding it.
I mean, well, we should be all right, because all we're doing is just reacting to a trailer. What can we get
Oh
from
yeah,
a little trailer?
This is more for people that watch the film, right? This is not about trailer reactions or watching that. This is for actually people that have seen the movie, not being able to talk about their experience. So like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but probably won't see any reviews until a few days before it comes out. So why that is it because of the quality? Is it because they're trying to hide something? We don't know. So it'll be, I guess in 2 weeks we'll have a better clue about what's going on there.
Well, it all just stinks, because I mean, with what we've seen from Marvel lately, it hasn't really given us much hope. But it's as you said in many previous trailer reactions and reviews, it's just superhero fatigue in general.
Yes,
I think, and I think the only show that that's gotten us into in anticipation, has made us kind of feel like maybe there is something good coming out of Marvel is Loki, with season 2.
Really?
Now, compared with all the other shows that we've seen, Loki's is a bit, to me, it's a bit more. So what I'm looking for, decent, I think.
Yes. No. I'm not gonna pretend like that it's bad or anything, but it just, even for Loki, like so far we've seen 4 episodes, right? You finished episode 4, correct?
Yeah, and I'll be honest. There are many things that kind of have me confused, namely the issue with the loom. But overall, I've enjoyed it, a lot more than I have with Secret Invasion or Captain America and all the other stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately the bar is so low, I think, at this stage for any of that stuff, that anything that comes across is like halfway okay, it kind of gets a whole lot of accolades. It's kind of like you finish like 3rd place in a race, but there's only 4 people in it. It's just, is that a good thing? Sure, I guess you weren't dead last, but also was not exactly leading the way with anything, because I haven't been that interested with this season. It just really, I just haven't really cared a whole lot about it. I don't know. It just really hasn't stuck with me. I just, I do like the guy from Short Round. I'm sorry, I hate to call him just Short Round, but that's how the guy that played Short Round, that was also in Everything Everywhere All at Once, right?
OB. You just call him OB.
OB, yes, yeah, that's right. Thank you, OB. So yeah, kind of adds a nice quirky element to it. But then I'm watching the story, I'm like, why do I care about any of this? Like, does this really mean anything to me? Like, it just feels like a whole bunch of fluff at this stage. And you got 2 episodes left, and I'm like, what is the end game? Like, what am I invested in? What do I want to see happen? Because I just don't care about it. It just doesn't really resonate with me. So I don't know. Help me out here, Luca. What am I missing? What is it that you've been enjoying so far that maybe I'm just not catching?
I'm just enjoying the visual effects. That's all.
The visual effects are nice. I have no doubt about it.
I'll say this. I'll say this. I do like the way that Loki is sort of evolving, because in season 1 he's still the same arrogant Loki that we've seen from Thor and the Avengers movies, right? The sort of arrogant narcissist kind of guy who's very much believes he should be in charge of the universe. But by the time you get to season 2, he's grown a bit more. He's matured more. He's thinking less of himself and more about others. I mean, he still has that sort of sly, devil may care, attitude and that dry wit, but it's also tempered by the fact that he's willing to see the bigger picture now. He's more willing to work with other people, and I think he and Mobius kind of have like this sort of like buddy cop dynamic going on with them. I mean, the big one that stands out to me is when they were interrogating Brad Wolf, and he puts him in that little box, and he's just like squeezing him, trying to get him to give the information that he needs. So I like that, but the overall story about what they're mainly concerned about, I'm a little confused, because I initially thought they were trying to stop variants of He Who Remains, but I don't think that seems to be in the cards, because now they're concerned about trying to stop the Loom, but they need a variant of He Who Remains to access it. But then he gets shredded up, so yeah, there's that.
That did surprise me. I will say that was unexpected. So I will give them some props there. The season, the 4th episode there, it definitely had a very shocking ending. So I will give it some credit that it knows how to set things up just to pull the rug out from underneath you. So I am very curious to see how. You said that there was 6 episodes, right?
Yeah, so there's like 2 left.
2. Yeah, so I'll be very curious to see what they do with the next 2 episodes now that your character doesn't really make sense for what you want her to be doing, because like ultimately you didn't really put anything in place. And then it's just like, well, I just want everyone to like exist and do whatever they want, but then you get pissed that you're not doing anything to actually warrant it. Like you want the other people to do that for you. I just don't get it. I don't understand what her motivations are. It doesn't make any sense to me. And like I said, maybe I'm just dumb with it, but I just, I don't understand what her purpose is. And then, you also have Renslayer in there now, which, I mean, they're like hinting that she was, with, He Who Remains, and, she had her like memory wiped, and I don't know. There's just too many different things going on here, and it just feels like there's so many plot threads that you're trying to add into a 6-episode season, and it doesn't really feel like any one thing is getting enough attention.
Well, not to mention too, we find out Miss Minutes is actually pretty deranged, and she's actually in love with He Who Remains, which I will admit was pretty freaking weird.
Yes, it definitely was odd to see. But yeah, she definitely, when we say love, we mean love.
Yeah.
Like she loves him. And actually kind of like made, references to what, why couldn't you give me a body? I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know. Is that just a sex robot at that stage? I don't know. I'm not going to get into the repercussions of whatever that's supposed to be, where you have artificial intelligence in a living being. I don't know what you're going to call that, but it was just kind of odd. So, like I said, the season 2 so far, it's just been odd to me. There's just been a whole lot of story beats where everything just kind of seems to be conflicting. They're trying to throw like all this like extra stuff in there, and it just feels jam-packed with stuff for 6 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, in reference to the Miss Minutes romance thing, that's one thread I do not want to see a conclusion to. I really don't.
You and me both. I don't think anyone's just like, you know what, I always want to see what it would be like to have a clock and a human have a relationship. So yeah, I don't know what their plan is, but like I said, I will say season 4 ended on enough of a cliffhanger. I do have some curiosity about what the final 2 episodes are going to be like.
Well, that's going to do it for our trailer reaction to the Marvels and our impromptu review of Loki Season 2 so far. Let us know down in the comments below what you think, if you are excited about seeing the Marvels, and whether or not you think Season 2 of Loki knocked it out of the park. But for the Movie Pope, thank you so much for watching, and take it easy. Bye.